Well, thanks for joining me for a ride in the Mercedes-Benz E63 AMG. It's a little bit of a soggy morning here in Chicago, but I just want to take a few minutes, one, to jump behind the wheel just to demonstrate the quality of the car, but also to just explain how some of these features tie in. But the E63 is definitely meant to be a luxury sedan, but it puts a very heavy emphasis on the sports aspect. It is powered by a 6.2 liter AMG hand-built V8 engine that makes 518 horsepower and 465 foot-pounds of torque. So you're talking about a monster power plant in this car. And it's the same size as your average E-Class, but just listen to the rumble. And that's just leisurely acceleration in this car, and it sounds spectacular. But the seating position is fantastic. You sit up high, the visibility is great. You've got the absolute best in current Mercedes-Benz amenities. This car is a 2010. It still is essentially identical to the 2013 you'd get today. They haven't changed much in between those models. But they are going to a twin turbo setup now for the 63 models, which, don't get me wrong, it's very fast. I've driven one of the turbo cars already. It's very fast, but it takes away. You don't get that sound. Like here, I'll downshift to third, holding about 3,000 RPM at 40 miles an hour, but here, down to second. That's awesome. I think that's one of the coolest things about this, is that even in all of the sports sedan categories, there's really nothing else out there that has that kind of American big block V8 style rumble. The sound is awesome. Let's go back to drive. So from behind the wheel, you know, everything kind of falls at your fingertips in this car. You got dual power seats up here, driver's memory and passenger side memory. You don't see that in a lot of cars. Power tilt and telescope AMG spec steering wheel here. It's a very thick rim with a couple of cutouts here. And right behind the wheel here, I've got the paddles for the downshift and the upshift on the 7-speed AMG, what they call a speed shift transmission. But what's really cool about it is Mercedes-Benz really never has been into manual gearboxes. They used automatics through most of the development of the AMG line, and now they have a dual clutch setup, which is much more in line with the highest level of performance cars. So they kind of skip over that manual generation, but it's a twin clutch setup. It's very fun to play with. This car does shift pretty quickly. But when you drive it in normal drive mode, it drives like a normal torque converter automatic. But you get navigation, a Harman Kardon system, actually a fabulous Harman Kardon system at that with surround. 6-disc changer here, got a memory card slot, heated and ventilated seats up front here, dual zone climate control as well. Outside you've got xenon headlamps with LED running lights, which is a pretty cool look for the car. But everything about this car really is tuned for performance. You know, you have luxury appointments, but the drivability, I mean, this is every bit a driver's car. This is not, you know, it's an engaging car. It's no Lexus. You know, it's a little bit more active, a little bit more busy. The suspension, it's definitely firm. It's not uncomfortable, but it's definitely firm. So it's sports car firm. It's a big difference from what you would get in a stock, you know, E550. But that sound is just intoxicating. That V8, you just constantly want to stay in a low gear just to hear it. Among the other electronics they've built into the car, they've got a dial right here on the console that says C, S, S plus, and M. Well, C is comfort, which is what I'm in right now. S goes to the S sport mode, and sport mode is just kind of amplifies the throttle response and firms up the suspension a little bit. When you go to the S plus, it definitely firms the suspension, because you actually, the way this one's set up is that it will go through the suspension damping, so you can put it on complete firm. And then M is for manual. Now they also have a function, RS, which is race start, which is launch control. That's pretty awesome. If you ever try a race race start in their speak, it actually modulates the traction control with forward momentum to give you consistently the best acceleration. It's raining today, otherwise I'd love to demonstrate that, because I don't think it'll work too well today. There's a way to shortcut all of these steps. Just hit this AMG button here, and the AMG button, you can preset all the parameters of the performance settings on here. It's kind of similar to what you get with like a BMW M menu. If you're familiar with that, you get a M menu inside their iDrive system where you can customize all the performance options. So this is kind of similar, right out in the open. Similar to what they have on the SLS. I think that's the other thing that's cool about the E63 is that as you drive it, you kind of want to play with it. Like, you don't just want to just throw it and drive it. Like, with all these settings and everything, it constantly is kind of begging you to say, all right, well, let's downshift and, you know, accelerate and have some fun. It's never boring. You know, it never feels boring at all. It just constantly gives you something to want to play with. Right now I'm in Sport Plus. I've got the suspension, let's firm it up, and the stability control is in Sport mode. So I'm in the most amplified setting of the car. Sport Plus mode, the throttle response is so quick, but the computer that controls the engine and the transmission will downshift the transmission very quickly as well. Even if you're not accelerating, but it's anticipating that you're going to take off in very short form, so it'll automatically and very quickly downshift for you. Like, I'm not going to really increase my speed here. I'm just going to lay into the pedal. You'll hear the engine note change. And I really didn't even accelerate. The car just was ready to go at that point. That's what all these cool settings are. Honestly, cars have changed so much, and this is the kind of stuff that you just want to have fun with. So Sport Plus, yeah, this is how you really tempt yourself into getting a speeding ticket. That sound is just worth the price of entry right there. This feels great. I mean, if you needed a daily driver that's rewarding on weekends as well, this is a really cool car. And here, AMG cars, they really are built to be track ready. So if you wanted to race this on weekends, this could be your track car. So there's really not too much of a compromise. And talk about the condition. I mean, it's a 2010, but this car drives brand new. The tires are new, which obviously is a pretty important component. I'm just gonna punch it here for a second, see if I can get just a little bit of a sound effect. Thanks for joining me for a quick spin in the E63 today. I had fun, I hope you did too. But for more information, go to our website. You'll find us at ChicagoMotorCars.com, and you'll find the entire spec list of what this car left the factory with. It is a P2 package, so it's pretty well equipped. You'll see on our website. But thanks for tuning in. See you again.